What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video of Celestial Chess. In today's video, we will be looking at a gambit. Some of you may know this gambit, some of you may not. It is not that well known, but is very effective when played against other people. This gambit is called the Blackburne Shilling Gambit. It was made by a guy named Joseph Henry Blackburne. More about him towards the end of the video. But yeah, I really want to share this with you guys so you can learn how to use it against your opponents, right? More people who are a little bit more advanced tend to fall for this trap, and if they fall into this trap, they either lose a queen, or they get checkmated. So, without further ado, let's go. So basically, here is our board editor. By the way, this website is Lichess. If you don't know what this is, it's a free free online chess website where you can like play games, do puzzles, you can watch grandmasters play, you can like learn how to play some openings, right? So basically, the way this gambit starts is with the most common opening, pawn to e4, right? Obviously just grabbing center, black responds with e5, nothing nothing unusual. White plays knight f3, also nothing unusual. Black responds knight c6, defending the pawn. Then bishop c4, right? Yeah, this just puts some pressure on f7. Maybe they're hoping to play like knight to g5. Maybe like you develop their other bishop, push the pawn. They have a lot of ideas, right? Then here comes this is where the gambit starts. It starts with knight to d4. So I want you to pause this video and think, what move would you play here in this position? Okay, so basically the correct move, or the way to decline the gambit, is to do knight takes knight. But then your beginners will probably play that, right? Knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and white is in a bit of an advantage here, right? But let's say more advanced players say, oh, he just blundered a pawn. Why can't we just take it, right? He blundered a pawn. And now they're also threatening knight to f7. It's a fork, right? So what you have to play here is you're gonna play queen to g5, attacking the knight and also attacking this pawn. Now, if they fall for this trap, you are guaranteed a queen or a rook. So let's if they play knight takes f7, you are guaranteed a queen or a rook, maybe even checkmate. Um, Now, normally what they should play, the best move, in my opinion, it would probably be um knight to g4, stopping black from going to g2 because there's a protection from the queen here, right? But still, it leaves white in a bit of a problem. Now, let's say your opponent sees this fork and he can't resist it, and he goes, "Okay, let's play knight takes f7, forking the queen and the rook." Now, this looks like a really good move, but it's actually a blunder, and it goes and it falls. It loses to queen takes g2 because here it's just a rook for a rook, and in this case, there you could probably like get the king out and like somehow figure out how to checkmate. Because like if you do knight takes rook, then you do queen takes rook, then bishop blocks only move. You could probably do something like then you could play queen here, check, all right, and then bishop block, then check here, king goes here. There's a lot of moves, right? So so basically, yeah, that's basically what could happen, right? So let's go back to that position. Here, knight d4, right? So knight d4, then knight takes pawn, and a queen here, right? So if knight takes pawn and queen takes pawn, now let's say your opponent isn't stupid and sees this, and they play the most obvious response, which is rook to f1, then you are guaranteed to win a queen because of the move queen takes f4 check. Now, the funny thing is, that if you try to block with the bishop and say, oh, ha 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 ha, I'm not gonna lose a queen, well then this is just straight up checkmate on the king, because as you see, the king is smothered by all his pieces, right? And the only move is to play queen blocks, and you just take the queen, right? And then you have bishop takes queen. Yeah, you're probably gonna lose a rook, but like you're gonna get the then you have no, you're not gonna lose a rook, but you're gonna play like king takes rook, and then they're probably gonna play like pawn push or something. So yeah, black's in a really or white black's in a really good position here. Now let's say that white decides to play instead of knight takes pawn. Let's see what happens if they do bishop check. Yeah, I know some of you are probably wondering like why would they like let's say they're pretty smart, like they see this so they play bishop check, right? So then you just go like the best move would probably be to move your king, in my opinion, here. Then a way white can save the game is probably with queen to here. Or sorry, not queen there. Probably like uh pawn here attacking the queen. But that would give up the knight, so that's not that good of a move. Probably good move. Still like knight back here. And even so they're gonna lose a bishop, so like they're already in a bit of a problem. And so yeah. So basically let's see what happens. Now if they play knight to g4. This is a very strong defense. But then you just have the move d5. Oh, whoopsie. Then you just have the move pawn to d5. And that just attacks the bishop or the knight. So either they're gonna lose the bishop or they're gonna lose the knight. And frankly, they should lose the bishop. Because if they lose the knight, there's gonna be a lot of problems. So they should really try to play. They should try to save their knight, right? But if they save their knight, then you just like attack the rook, and it's too overwhelming for black, right? For example, let's see what happens if they try to save their bishop. They do like bishop back, then you just have bishop here, then bishop to g4 attacking the queen. The queen's trapped. They only have like pawn here. Then you have a number of moves. You have like queen here check. It blocks, then you have like knight takes pawn check. And then here, then there's if here, then there's like a discovered attack and you get their queen. If here, then like you can play bishop here check, and then that's like then they go here. And there's just like a number of moves and that's like checkmate. If they go here, then you have like just automatic check. Uh, and then check goes here, and then this is like checkmate or something, right? So that's a real problem if they play. That's a possibility of what happens if they try to save the bishop, right? So, yeah, that's why they shouldn't play that. That's why they shouldn't play like their bishop over there. Um, so yeah, uh, if yeah, they shouldn't play that. Now let's see what happens if they like save their knight. If they go like knight back here, something like that. Obviously, you'd probably play like pawn takes bishop. If pawn into knight, then you just have queen into. I mean, if knight into pawn, then you just have queen into pawn, and like the rook is basically just has to go here, and then there's knight f3 check. Then you've got king here, and you could just like walk the king out, get your bishop out. You could probably play like bishop g4. There's like really nothing white can do really to stop you. Like they go down here and then there's just a number of things that white is left with to deal with, and that's really a bad it's really a bad problem. Now, you all are probably wondering now what happens if white doesn't accept this, and the only defense really that I see to this move is knight takes knight, and pawn takes pawn. And really here, the problem is that now black doesn't have that many developed pieces. They can play like pawn push here, like completely stopping that pawn from ever moving. they could get their bishop out. Now you have very slow development. If you go like it says you lost your other knight. If you go like knight here, then they just have pawn push, and then there's a number of other things, right? So, and if you go like knight here, then they can castle and everything. So yeah. Um, now, basically, as you can see, this gambit is really effective, on mainly older, and a little bit more advanced players. Right? It starts with knight d4, and then you can remember a little bit of variations, obviously. But like, if they fall for the trap, they're pretty much have lost the game, right? If we take this into like an analysis board here, um, right in here, and we turn on the analysis, it's gonna be like, see here, knight takes knight is what the computer recommends, right? So now if they do like knight takes pawn, look, the bar just went up, and then obviously the computer recommends queen g5. Here the computer recommends castling, and honestly that's not a bad idea, but like you're gonna lose your knight. If knight to g five, if knight to g4, like I said, d5 wins completely, and then knight here, then you get pawn takes, and then like if knight takes, then this game is completely over because it just falls to like queen g2 and everything. So yeah, right. So here, if let yeah they do knight takes pawn and then queen g5. Now I want to show you what happens if they castle. Obviously, queen takes pawn, very good move. Queen takes knight, sorry. Then pawn push attacking the knight. Obviously, knight could just go back here. I don't know why it says go here. Just goes here, right? Yeah. Then pawn push. Uh, I don't know why you can. Oh no, you want to move back, right? I mean, I don't see what's the problem with this, but it's probably like it falls to this, and like white has such a good attack. So yeah, this is probably a better move than like white just develops, and it evens out to be a draw. Like you still can like develop your pieces. Sorry, not that move. You could play like this move. Even though they play this, you just have like you can just march your pawns forward. I know the evaluation bar shows that white's at an advantage here, but obviously, how long is your opponent gonna follow like stockfish and play all the best moves? Eventually, they're gonna like have to go off and play moves, and they'll probably make a mistake, and you can take advantage of them, right? So basically, this gambit is really useful, and I hope you will use them in your future games. So that's it for today's video. I hope you learned something about this Blackburn Shilling Gambit. Now, as I promised, I would talk about the maker of this gambit. His name was Joseph Henry Blackburne. He invented this gambit to use on amateurs, because it was so good that many people didn't even know what happens, and they didn't even know that knight takes pawn was a bad idea, right? And he was such a good player, right? In the mid 1800s, right? And no one knew he was like he was really good, right? He had like a rating of 2,750 or something like that, right? And he was this really smart guy who frankly managed to find a way to like destroy his opponents with one of the most popular openings, if not the most popular opening. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you know when my future videos are upcoming. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.